What is up, everybody? It is your boy N7 here. Welcome to another review video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Nintendo Switch Sports for... Oh god, what's the system? Oh yeah, the Nintendo Switch. Sorry, I forgot that one before recording. But yeah, this game has been out for a while now, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions about the game, and well, it's time for me to dump my own opinions about the game here. So, let's talk about Switch Sports, starting off with, of course, the presentation of the game. So this is kind of a remake, I guess, of the first Wii Sports. It's kind of more of its own thing, though, as it doesn't at least prominently use the Miis that we saw in Wii Sports, instead going for new avatars, which I'll get into in a second. But you get 6 sports, which is one more sport than that of the original Wii Sports, and there are some unique ones as well, but I'll get more into the sports and how they play later. But overall, like, presentation-wise, I don't really have much to really say. And visually, honestly, this game actually looks quite good. The environments look real nice. It really reminds me of that of Splatoon and Splatoon 2. But of course, let's talk about those avatars, because lots of people have commented on before and how they're not that good looking. And I'm going to be honest, they aren't great, but I think people are over-exaggerating. Yes, they don't look nearly as iconic as that of the Miis, but honestly, they don't look that bad. And honestly, the fact that you have so much customization with them based on the stuff that you can unlock in the online mode, it does make them a lot more customizable than that of the Miis. Though I will agree that they're not amazing, but I do definitely think that people are over-exaggerating when it comes to this. I get that they aren't better than the Miis. That's fine. Even I don't think they're better than the Miis. But they're not that awful. Seriously? And besides, it's a very, very small thing. Like, a lot of people will use this to complain about this game, and honestly, like, well, I can understand it's not a reason to not like the game. Besides, you can use your own Mii in the game. If you couldn't use your own Mii, then I could see why people would be upset, but you can use your own Mii, so shut up. Sorry, I had to get a little bit into a rant, but honestly, this will be a bit of a ranty review because, while I will stand up for the game in that sense, I can't stand up for it in the sense of gameplay. Now, just like the other Wii Sports games, you have 6 different sports, as I said before. However, they are different and play somewhat different. We'll start off with bowling, as that's the one I first played, and bowling, well, I mean, it's basically the same as that of Wii Sports Bowling, but it doesn't feel as good. I don't know, it just kind of feels okay. I don't know, sometimes I feel like when I'm trying to go for a strike, it doesn't give me a strike, even though I feel like I have at least enough power and a good angle to do it. Maybe that's just me doing bad, but I don't know. I mean, one time literally on my first online game, I managed to get 6 strikes in a row somehow. So, I don't know. It's just it just decides whether or not you get a strike or not. I mean, the bowling's still fine, but it's not that interesting. Except for when you play with the special rules, when you actually have more of an obstacle course for the bowling, which actually is a lot of fun, I will say. But it's alright. And the next game is tennis, and it's basically the same as Wii Sports Tennis. It's fine. I don't really have much to say about it. Then Shambara, or the sword play one, actually is okay, but I don't know if it's as good as Wii Sports Resort sword play. I think because of the fact that the Shambara in this game feels a little bit more, I don't know, stiff? I don't really know how to describe it. It doesn't feel quite the same, but I would still say it's one of the better modes. I will say, though, that I really am glad that you can play this online, because that's honestly the one thing I didn't like about the Wii Sports Resort version, is that all the sports in that game didn't have online functionality, even despite the Wii having online, so it is really cool to play it against other people, even if I'm really, really, really bad at it. But it's still fine enough, though. And then we get into more of the questionable sports. The first one, next one being badminton, which is basically tennis but worse. I will admit that it actually uses the motion controls quite well, but I don't know. I don't like badminton at all. It is just so repetitive. You basically just keep a rally. It's just a worse version of tennis, honestly, in my opinion. It's just boring, in my opinion. Next is volleyball, and volleyball is basically just a rhythm game. You basically have to move your hands at the right time in order to do well. And I mean, I'm fine with a more rhythm-based minigame, but like, I don't know, man. Volleyball could have been a little bit better in my opinion as well. It is okay, but it's just nothing really that amazing. I don't know. They didn't need to make it a rhythm game. And if you're going to make it a rhythm game, why have it be something like a band or something like that, or music or something like that? I don't know. And then soccer, which is actually one of the only games where you can actually completely control your own me, which unfortunately soccer is basically just a boring Rocket League. Seriously, the characters move way too slow. That's like been my biggest problem. I know some people complain about not being able to attack your own, like the other opponents and whatnot. I mean, I'm fine with not being able to, but like, why do you move so slowly? Like, Rocket League, you move so much faster, and Switch Sports, soccer, it just feels so slow. It's really not that good in my opinion. I don't know. But that's that. And that's pretty much all the sports. Of course, there is going to be golf later down the line, but of course it's not in the main game right now because of course Nintendo has to do the whole thing where we'll release half of the game at launch and then we'll release the later half. We'll sprinkle it out to you throughout the next year. Not very proud of that one, Nintendo, but gameplay-wise, it's fine. I mean, it is to me. It does make some sense that some games wouldn't be nearly as good, considering, from what I know, the Switch Joy-Con motion controls aren't as accurate as that of the Wii remote. But I don't know. Some of the sports just feel so bleh. Like soccer needs to be sped up. Badminton's just boring. Volleyball is just weirdly a rhythm game, and that's really all I can say. The other three sports are fine. Bowling, tennis, and chambara. Those are fine, but there's not really a lot to say about them. They're not really keeping me around, which I will definitely get to that in a second. But yeah, gameplay-wise, it's fine. I mean, I get the games are meant to be simple, but even so, I don't know. Some of the games really could be used. Though to be fair, maybe an update could fix it. Maybe an update can make soccer actually fun, but I don't know. But now moving on to the controls. Honestly, the game controls completely fine. I didn't really run into too many issues. Of course, I did mention before the whole thing with the bowling and the strike thing, but honestly, I don't think the game controls badly at all. Though you do have to use the Joy-Cons and you can't use anything else. But that makes some sense. I mean, you really want to play this game in handheld mode with the Joy-Cons attached to the Switch? Yeah, I don't think so. So control-wise, the game is fine. But now moving on to the content, and oh my god, this game is super lacking. Actually, I'm not even gonna say lacking. Seriously, there is like the entire any content this game really has is almost non-existent. Seriously, you have the 6 sports, and that is it. There is nothing to do other than that. At least single-player wise, or at least local multiplayer wise. Seriously, basically you play online and then you actually collect stuff. You see, something that the game doesn't really tell you is that the online is basically the main part of the game, because in the online mode, it's similar to that of the other modes, although they actually do change some of the rules up. For example, I noticed that bowling in online is more so like Battle Royale. You have to get up above a certain threshold in order to actually advance, which I wish you could use those rules in the local multiplayer. That'd be cool, but whatever. But the main thing is online allows you to collect stuff, as every time you collect 100 points, you get a little gift, and you can choose like a set, and you can like get something, like whether it's a new cosmetic or a new like cosmetic for like your head or your body or your tennis racket or something like that. And it's okay, but the problem is this is the only collectible in the entire game. There is nothing else to do. When you play a sport locally, there is no point to it. There's no reason to go back to it. There's no stamps to collect. There's nothing to collect at all. There's no real reason to come back at all. You basically just play the sport just because if you're playing it for the first time or if you're playing with other people. And I understand that this is supposed to be more of that of a multiplayer experience, especially an online one. But even so, online shouldn't have been the only thing that this game has in terms of content. If they marketed this game more so as like playing Wii Sports online, would be kind of cool. I mean, then it'd make more sense, but they didn't market it that way. They marketed it as a fun game for everyone to play, Well, being someone that doesn't have a lot of friends to play with, and single player wise, it's pretty much non-existent. There's nothing for you to do not like single player wise, except for the online. To which all you really do is just unlock cosmetics, which that's so cool. It's really not. And I get the earlier Wii Sports games didn't have a lot of content either. There wasn't a lot to do. But I feel like there was more to it, specifically in Wii Sports Resort, where you had stamps to collect, whether it's like, do this thing, or like get like a score above this or something like that. I don't know. They need achievements in this game, like really badly. That's at least how I feel. So content-wise, well, this game completely fails in that regard. Complete and utter fails. This game legit just feels like a tech demo, and not even a game. Now, to be fair, the game is $40, $50 if you get it physical because it comes with a leg strap. But for $40, I don't know. I don't really feel like it's the amount of sports that's the problem. I feel like it's more so the simple fact that there's just not enough to do after you're done playing a game. Once you play Shambara for the first time, there's no reason to play it again. Once you play Badminton for the first time, you're not going to want to play it again because it's complete and utter garbage. It's like there's not enough of a reason to come back at all. And that's my main problem. It feels too much like a tech demo that Nintendo just threw together in like a few months, called it a day, and put it on store shelves. So content-wise, yeah, it sucks. And music-wise, there's really a lot to say about that. Of course, we don't get any of the real catchy tunes like that of the other games. But I will say that I like how the map theme in the game is kind of reminiscent of that of the Wii Sports theme. I think that's a cool touch, as it uses some of the similar notes. But yeah, that was my review of Switch Sports, and yeah, it was a bit of a rant, especially at the end there. But to be honest though, I don't think the game is bad, but I don't think the game is great either though. Honestly, my main problem with the game is just what you do in the game. Seriously, it's just the sports, and you play them, and that's it. There's no collectibles. There's no real reason to keep playing them. And that's how I feel, because honestly, after a few hours of playing the game, I kind of felt like I already experienced the entire game. And to be fair, though, I did play the game before I actually got it, because I played it at MGC, but I don't know. They could have easily done way more with this game. It's disappointing, to say the least. But, it's better than Wii Sports Club, so I'll give it that. More on that next week. I'll tear that game to shreds next week. But on my scale of 0 to 10, I give Nintendo Switch Sports a 6.8 out of 10. I think the game would be more fun, but it just has so little to it that there's no reason to ever come back. And yeah, that was the review. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you guys did somehow enjoy, please hit the like button. It helps me a lot, and subscribe if you're brand new, and let's hope that Nintendo can add some more to this game to hopefully save the game, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, they'll be adding golf, but if they're adding achievements, I don't know. But that's all I really have for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know what you think of this game and if you've played it. And yeah, with that being said, this is N07 signing out. Peace out and take care.